Today's idiom is our company is in the red this year. It means experiencing financial losses or operating at a deficit. This phrase originates from traditional accounting. Historically, red ink recorded negative balances or expenditures, making losses visually distinct from profits, typically in black ink. Let's see it in action. In a sales meeting, you might hear, if we don't increase our sales this quarter, the whole department will be in the red. This emphasizes avoiding financial loss. Another example, the startup managed to stay out of the red for its first 2 years, which is quite an achievement. Here, out of the red means they avoided losses and achieved profitability.
Alternatives include operating at a loss or losing money. Both convey financial deficit. However, in the red is a concise idiom, subtly referencing accounting origins. It offers an evocative way to discuss financial struggles, versatile for casual chats or business reports. In summary, in the red means operating at a financial loss, rooted in traditional accounting, where red ink denoted negative balances. This idiom concisely conveys financial difficulty. Its visual origin aids recall. Use it to describe deficits in company or personal finances, making your point immediately understood. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, after the big sale, we are finally in the black. This phrase means a business or person is financially profitable, with income exceeding expenses. Its origin comes from traditional accounting where black ink marked positive figures, contrasting with red ink for losses. Achieving this state is a significant financial goal. Let's see it in action. Example 1. After several tough months, the company is finally in the black thanks to the new product line. Here, the company became profitable. Example 2. With careful budgeting, we managed to get our personal finances in the black by the end of the year. Both show moving from debt or loss to a positive financial position.
Similar expressions include to turn a profit and to be out of the red. To turn a profit emphasizes the action of achieving profitability. To be out of the red specifically means moving from a deficit to a positive state. In the black describes the state of ongoing financial health and a positive balance. To recap, in the black means you are financially sound, with income exceeding expenses. It directly relates to historical accounting practices using black ink for positive figures. Remember, this idiom describes a desirable financial state, often signifying successful management or ventures. Aim for the black. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is he gave an offhand answer without thinking. This describes replying spontaneously, without prior thought or careful consideration. The term offhand emerged in the 17th century, suggesting actions done casually, without preparation. It literally means the answer was given without a moment of deep reflection. Let's see some examples. When asked about the merger, the CEO gave an offhand answer saying he hadn't considered it yet. Here, his response was unplanned and immediate. In another case, her offhand comments sometimes come across as rude, even though she doesn't mean to offend. This shows how an offhand remark is made impulsively, without fully thinking through its impact. Both illustrate spontaneous, unpremeditated replies.
Let's explore similar expressions. To speak off the cuff means speaking spontaneously, often without notes, especially in public. Offhand is broader, covering any casual, unprepared response. To answer without thinking is very direct. Offhand uniquely implies a casual, sometimes dismissive tone alongside spontaneity. Choose carefully based on context. To summarize, he gave an offhand answer without thinking, means responding spontaneously, without prior consideration. This idiom, rooted in casual actions, highlights the unprepared nature of the reply. An offhand answer lacks depth, often revealing a lack of reflection. Use it to describe impulsive communication. It's a versatile idiom for unplanned responses. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is delays are par for the course in construction. It means something is a normal, expected part of a situation. This phrase comes from golf, where par is the standard number of strokes for a hole or a round. If something is par for the course, it's typical and shouldn't surprise you, just like achieving par in golf. Let's use it. Dealing with unexpected challenges is par for the course in starting a new business. This means obstacles are standard for entrepreneurship. Another example, long queues at the theme park on a holiday weekend are par for the course. Here, waiting is simply expected. The idiom shows certain outcomes are typical and predictable, not surprising.
Similar phrases, comes with the territory and part and parcel. Comes with the territory implies difficulty is inherent to a job. Part and parcel means an essential component. Par for the course covers any expected event, emphasizing general normalcy. Select based on highlighting predictability, inherent difficulty, or a core element. In summary, delays are par for the course in construction. Means delays are normal and expected. Originating from golf, it refers to something typical, not surprising. Remember this idiom to describe events completely predictable within a given situation. It helps convey that something is just business as usual. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, losing the game was a bitter pill to swallow. This phrase means accepting an unpleasant or difficult truth that is hard to bear. Imagine taking a very unappetizing medicine. It's tough, but you know it's necessary. The idiom dates back to the 17th century, rooted in the medical practice of that time. Pills were often handmade and notoriously bitter, making them genuinely bitter pills to ingest. Over time, this literal act of enduring a nasty taste transformed into a metaphor for accepting any harsh reality or unwelcome outcome. Now let's look at how this idiom works in context. Our first example is, being passed over for the promotion was a bitter pill for Sarah to swallow, as she had worked tirelessly. Here, Sarah's hard work makes the rejection even more painful, illustrating how difficult it is to accept such a disappointing outcome. For our second example, after investing so much time and money, the project's failure was a bitter pill for the team to swallow. This highlights a similar feeling. The team isn't just disappointed. They're experiencing the deep, unpleasant sting of accepting a significant loss despite their best efforts. Both examples clearly show the emotional weight involved in enduring an unwanted truth.
When you want to express a similar idea, you might say a hard truth to accept or even just a tough pill to swallow. While a hard truth to accept is a straightforward way to convey that something is difficult to come to terms with, a bitter pill to swallow specifically emphasizes the unpleasantness and often the unfairness or undesirability of the situation. It carries a stronger emotional punch, suggesting something that one endures with reluctance. A tough pill to swallow is a close synonym, often used interchangeably, but bitter tends to highlight the negative emotional taste more acutely. To recap, losing the game was a bitter pill to swallow perfectly captures the feeling of accepting a very unpleasant or difficult reality. Stemming from the historical experience of taking genuinely bitter medicines, this idiom helps us describe situations where we must reluctantly come to terms with a disappointing outcome. Next time you face a tough situation that's hard to accept, remember this vivid image. It's a powerful way to express the emotional challenge of enduring something undesirable, but ultimately unavoidable. Keep practicing, and you'll master these nuanced expressions. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, you're so quiet. A penny for your thoughts. This charming phrase is used to gently ask someone who is deep in thought or noticeably quiet what they are pondering. Its roots stretch back to the 16th century England, where offering a small coin, a penny, was a common, polite gesture to encourage someone to share their ideas or insights. It's a lovely way to invite deeper conversation and show genuine interest. Let's look at a couple of everyday scenarios. First, imagine you see a friend staring blankly at a page. You might approach them and say, "You've been staring at that blank page for an hour. A penny for your thoughts?" This is a soft, non-intrusive way to prompt them to open up. Another situation, Sarah looked troubled after the meeting. I wanted to ask her, "A penny for your thoughts?" but decided to wait. Here, the speaker considers using the idiom to show empathy, even if they don't say it aloud. Both examples show how it encourages sharing.
If a penny for your thoughts isn't quite right, you might use similar expressions like, "What's on your mind?" or "Share your thoughts." "What's on your mind?" is a very direct question, good for immediate inquiry. "Share your thoughts" is more about collaboration or eliciting opinions, often in a group or professional setting. A penny for your thoughts retains a distinct, older charm and implies that the other person's thoughts are valued enough to be bought. To recap, "You're so quiet. A penny for your thoughts" is a thoughtful and empathetic idiom. It invites someone who is deep in contemplation to reveal their inner musings. Originating from a quaint 16th century English custom, it beautifully acknowledges the potential value of unspoken thoughts. So, next time you see someone lost in reflection, remember this phrase to gently encourage them to share. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is he never makes promises, but his actions speak louder than words. This describes someone whose reliability comes from consistent actions, not verbal pledges. Their deeds carry more truth than words. This core sentiment, valuing actions over talk, is ancient wisdom, prominent in Proverbs since the 17th century. Let's see this idiom in action. First, my old boss would never make grand statements. But when a deadline approached, he'd be the first one staying late. He never made promises, but his actions speak louder than words. His dedication spoke volumes. Second, you won't hear John bragging, yet he volunteers every weekend at the shelter. He never makes promises, but his actions speak louder than words. John's volunteering shows kindness. True character is revealed through consistent behavior, not words.
Similar to walk the talk in deeds, not words, our idiom describes someone who doesn't promise but consistently delivers. Quiet reliability means trust is earned through performance, not explicit pledges. In summary, this idiom celebrates reliable action over empty words. Rooted in ancient wisdom, it shows true character by doing, not just saying. It honors those who quietly perform duties and contribute meaningfully. Use it to describe admirable individuals who deliver. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, we're all in the same boat during tough times. This expression means that everyone is facing the same difficult situation, experiencing identical problems and challenges. It underscores a shared vulnerability and the idea that we are collectively bound by circumstances, particularly during hardship. Its origin comes from nautical history, picturing people literally sharing a small vessel at sea. If a storm strikes or the boat is damaged, everyone on board shares the same peril and destiny, emphasizing collective fate. Let's look at how we can use this idiom in daily conversation. For our first example, during the economic recession, many businesses struggled, and we truly felt like we were all in the same boat. Here, the phrase beautifully captures the widespread impact of a recession, where financial difficulties affect individuals and companies across the board, making their struggles a common experience. Our second example illustrates a slightly different scenario. Although our departments are different with this new company policy, it seems we're all in the same boat when it comes to adapting. This shows how the idiom can apply even when people have different roles or backgrounds, but face a common challenge or need for adjustment due to a new directive. Both examples highlight how this idiom effectively conveys a sense of shared predicament and collective experience.
While we're all in the same boat clearly expresses shared hardship, there are similar phrases that offer slight nuances. In the same predicament conveys a similar meaning of being in a difficult situation together, but it might sound a bit more formal or less colloquial than our idiom. Another alternative is facing the same challenges, which is very direct and emphasizes the specific obstacles rather than the shared state of vulnerability. Our idiom often carries a stronger sense of shared destiny and mutual support, implying a need for collective effort to overcome the adversity, which these alternatives might not fully convey. To wrap up, we're all in the same boat. During tough times is a powerful idiom that reminds us of our shared humanity when facing adversity. Rooted in the simple, profound image of people navigating dangers together, it perfectly encapsulates moments when everyone is united by common struggles. Remember this phrase when you want to express solidarity or acknowledge that you're not alone in a difficult situation. It's a versatile and empathetic way to describe collective challenges and foster a sense of mutual understanding. Use it to connect with others during shared hardships. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, if you think I took the money, you're barking up the wrong tree. This means you are mistaken about who or what is responsible, or pursuing a completely wrong line of inquiry. Its origin traces back to the 19th century American hunting, where dogs would mistakenly bark at a tree where no prey was present. It vividly describes pursuing a false lead. Consider, if you're looking for the car keys in the fridge, you're barking up the wrong tree. I put them on the table. This shows someone searching in the wrong place based on a mistaken assumption. Also, the detective realized he was barking up the wrong tree when the alibi for the first suspect was confirmed. Here, the detective was investigating the wrong person. Both examples highlight misdirected effort or accusation.
Similar expressions include, you're off the mark for a general incorrect guess, and you're on the wrong track for a mistaken course of action. While similar, barking up the wrong tree often conveys a more persistent or deeply misplaced effort, specifically suggesting someone is putting energy into a fundamentally incorrect area, perhaps even wrongly accusing someone, making it quite specific. In summary, if you think I took the money, you're barking up the wrong tree, indicates a fundamental misunderstanding or a false accusation. Originating from hunting, it beautifully illustrates a wasted effort on a wrong target. Use this idiom to clearly correct someone's mistaken assumptions or misdirected efforts, guiding them toward the accurate understanding of a situation. It's a memorable way to set the record straight. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is I wanted to complain, but I had to bite my tongue. This expression perfectly describes a situation where you feel a strong urge to speak up, perhaps to complain or say something critical, but consciously choose to remain silent. The phrase to bite one's tongue dates back to the 16th century English, emerging as a vivid metaphor. Imagine the physical act of biting your own tongue in pain or frustration. It's a deliberate action to stop yourself from speaking, preventing words from escaping your mouth. Figuratively, it means exercising great self-control to hold back unwanted comments. Let's look at how this idiom is used in context. For our first example, my boss made an unfair decision, and I really wanted to complain, but I had to bite my tongue to keep my job. Here, the speaker had a clear grievance but chose silence over potential professional repercussions. The desire to complain was strong, but the need to maintain employment was stronger, leading to the deliberate suppression of their thoughts. Our second example is, she made a very rude comment about my friend, and I wanted to complain, but I had to bite my tongue because we were in a public place. In this instance, the speaker refrained from confronting the rude person, not for personal gain, but out of consideration for the public setting. Both scenarios demonstrate a conscious choice to hold back words despite a strong impulse to speak, perfectly illustrating the idiom's meaning.
There are a few similar expressions you might hear. Hold one's peace is a more formal way to say you're remaining silent, often used when one has the right or opportunity to speak but chooses not to, perhaps in a serious or official context like a courtroom. For instance, speak now or forever, hold your peace. Another phrase is swallow one's words, which is closer to our idiom but often implies regretting something you've said and wishing you could take it back, or being forced to retract a statement. Bite my tongue specifically emphasizes the internal struggle and the conscious effort to stop yourself before speaking out of desire to avoid conflict or negative consequences. To wrap up, I wanted to complain, but I had to bite my tongue is a powerful idiom describing the act of intentionally suppressing words, especially complaints or criticisms, to avoid negative outcomes. Its vivid imagery, stemming from the literal act of biting one's own tongue to stop speech, makes it easy to remember. Next time you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to speak out but realize silence is the wiser choice, you can aptly use this expression. It's a great way to convey that difficult moment of self-restraint. I'll see you next time with another great expression.